It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day to you. I'm Brad Miller. It is County-Wide, and we're happy to welcome into studio a guest that we have chatted with from time to time in the last year or two. Bonnie Shinko is the CEO of Arizona Care Management, and Bonnie's field of expertise is dealing with folks with dementia, principally Alzheimer's. And ahead of the big walk coming up on October 14th at the Blazin' M Ranch, we thought we'd bring Bonnie back in to talk a little bit about that event. Certainly important on the calendar, and we hope that you take part in it, but also just to talk about where the funds raised go and how important it is to support people for Alzheimer's patients. A lot of time that's adult children of older folks who perhaps have Alzheimer's, or it can be any relationship. It could even be a professional caregiver. But there are a lot of strains. Bonnie, first I'll say welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me again, Brad. Nice to see you.
Coming and chatting with us. So I get so excited when we have people who really know this issue. So many of us, if not most of us, by a certain age, seem to have a parent, an aunt, an uncle, someone in the family tree, someone who is important to them, who is going to perhaps become victim to this dread illness. And you said something a minute ago about we tend to think of Alzheimer's as kind of a catch-all, but there's really dozens, if not hundreds, of impairment or dementia issues that kind of fit into that same similar box.
Absolutely, Brad. If you looked at an umbrella, the overall umbrella is dementia, abnormal memory loss.
Okay.
About 70% or so is the Alzheimer's type dementia. The other 30%, give or take, could be up to 100 other dementias. But in the end, it's all a very difficult illness to deal with, right. And you have to have such extreme patience when taking care of a loved one and being a caregiver of someone that's suffering from this cognitive impairment.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, you are in the very front line of this, and I know you can see with your own eyes stories about what can happen and how devastating it can be. And I hate to point out towards celebrity, but I think Glenn Campbell, who was an Arizonan at the time of his passing, and his family, they really, I think, did a service to the community by documenting what he was going through and how long. And it comes, does it, to a point with Alzheimer's patients specifically that they are not going to be able to be cared for in the family home.
Absolutely. Most of the time they cannot, because that's an illness that actually takes your mind and your body.
Yeah.
There's hardly anything more deconditioning that you can deal with than that. Hence, I actually have a support group that's supported by the Alzheimer's Society, and I am the facilitator of that group that meets every Tuesday at 1 o'clock at our Cottonwood Public Library. And we have had to go weekly because our support group has gotten so large in our community. It gives them a peace of mind to be able to sit with people that understands the toll that this takes on you, where unless you're living it, no one else can understand the physical and emotional toil that it takes.
Just being able to care for anyone, whomever it is, from a new parent with a baby all the way up to whomever it is. But seeing that gradual deterioration, and knowing, finally coming to the realization, even though it's not merited, there's got to be guilt that comes for a caregiver at some point in their caregiving of a person with Alzheimer's. Why can't I do this? Is that a common feeling?
Absolutely. And many, many times, one day they just wake up and they say, I cannot do this another moment.
Yeah.
They are totally exhausted, both physically and emotionally. So the goal is to get help in advance. And that's what the Alzheimer's Association does. They have trained people that answer their phone 24/7 to help anyone who calls in distress. For instance, if their loved one's up in the middle of the night trying to get outside in the dark, they can call someone to help them. And then all kinds of local resources that we actually have at our office and anybody can walk in and get to give them support as they navigate this journey, this difficult journey. And then, of course, the support group helps a lot.
Right. What is typical when folks first kind of contact your agency and you come into contact with a caregiver? Are they at the breaking point you just described? It's certainly suggested they get in touch much, much sooner, but it sounds like that just doesn't always happen because, again, we all think we're supermen and women and that we can do this. But where along that sliding scale do you typically kind of find folks that need what you can provide?
Well, many times in the support group, we have people that walk in actually, unfortunately, already in that crisis mode.
I thought maybe.
Absolutely, because they feel so alone and so isolated because, again, it's something a lot of people don't understand and they don't talk about.
Yeah.
So the more we can get the word out that there is help out there and that you need to take care of yourself first as the caregiver. 65% of caregivers go down before the care receiver. And so let's help those caregivers. That's what we're here to do, to find the support they need so then they can continue to take care of their loved one, either in their home or even in a different type of setting, but they're still there loving them and supporting them.
Right. And we've heard things that sometimes the tolls, even if the caregiver is able to keep up with the patient, the loved one, it can take tolls in other areas. Marriages have been lost because there is an Alzheimer's patient that one of the spouses is caring for. I mean, you've seen every example. You've seen every kind of story, and heading that off before we ever get there is really the key to kind of making this happen. Where in the process would you hope that caregivers come and take advantage of your services or find help in whatever form they need it?
Early onset, when they're
as soon as you know.
As soon as they know, when they're first diagnosed, because there's the only thing that's positive about a dementia diagnosis is the fact of the gift of time.
Yeah.
We have time to plan. We know the trajectory, so let's plan for it. Let's take advantage of these services. Let's do the walk and raise money for a cure. Those are the types of things, the camaraderie and the knowledge that can help them, because this is a long journey.
Yeah. I don't mean to be unkind. Is there a typical life expectation after an initial diagnosis? Is there a window generally, or is it just one never knows?
Well, there is, based on the type of diagnosis that they have. And like we talked about, there's over 100 different types of dementia, right. Alzheimer's being the most common, of course.
Sure.
And it depends on how advanced it is. There's mild, moderate, and advanced stages of it.
Right.
When they get to the advanced stage, usually you're looking at about 2 years.
Okay.
A typical journey is 8 to 12.
Okay. That's a long time.
It's a long time.
I mean, almost a generation or close to it, half of it anyway. That can just be so wearing. And then you start to factor in other circumstances. Perhaps the caregiver still has kids at home. Financially, I can't even begin to get a grip on how difficult this may be. Homes may need to be modified, added on to, just things like that, forgetting just the daily costs and expectations of essentially raising an adult person in your own home. It seems like you can go from a broken heart to being overwhelmed just like that.
Absolutely. And the cost, thank you for bringing that up, it's astronomical.
Oh, unfathomable.
Correct, because a lot of our adult caregivers are still working. Or
right.
It's a wife of someone who may be in their 80s or 85 and limited on their energies to be able to take
right.
care of things for them.
Right. It gets very difficult very, very quickly. That is why your organization is doing what it's doing, good work in our community for a long time. We need to take a short break. We are going to talk a bit about how the support of the event coming up, the walk, and there's going to be a pancake breakfast. There's been a new item added to the events on the 14th of October, but it is so important for you first to reach out. If you are a caregiver, if you find yourself in this situation, no matter where along that sliding scale of dementia your loved one may be, if it's early on, take advantage of Arizona Care Management, what Bonnie Shimko and her professionals can do. We need to take a short break. We'll come back to Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Hi, this is Louis Rice with Rice Accounting, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, with a very sincere thank you for your continued business over the last 20 years. All of us at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service are very honored for the many community awards we've been given over the years. As always, we are open year-round, providing services for taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona, can help you with all your tax and accounting needs. For our nearest location, call 800-234-1040.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to the program. I'm Brad Miller. It's county-wide. Bonnie Shimko is our guest today, and we're talking about coming up just around the corner, October 14th, and this will be Blazin' M Ranch.
Correct.
Starting at 8 o'clock is the sign-in for the walk-a-thon, the Walk for Alzheimer's. Talk to me a little bit about this. You know, I know you always need walkers. How do the walkers raise the money for Alzheimer's care?
Oh, thanks for asking. They, of course, can just make a one-time donation if they'd like when they get to the walk. They can get online, the Alzheimer's Association, and obviously there's a walk link for the Verde Valley. On that website, there's also a team page where you can actually sign up as a team. For instance, Arizona Care Management has a team. Mm-hmm. And then we go ahead and we have our members go out and solicit donations. And they can make it directly, a PayPal type thing, or collect actual physical money and bring it to the walk that day.
So if someone knocks on your door or a coworker mentions this or whomever approaches you, you can do a good thing even if you're tied up that day yourself. You can become part of the effort.
Absolutely. We need to find a cure for our future.
I'd like to throw out, let's get folks who, I'm guessing, I don't know, but I'm guessing a lot of the walkers that are already registered and that will be there on October 14th, perhaps have already been touched themselves by Alzheimer's in some way, shape, or form. I'd like to maybe throw out kind of a challenge for people who at this point have not been, because statistics tell us there's a good chance that many of us will in the future if we're not already working with a family that is in a dementia family, if we can kind of say it that way. So wouldn't we like to see more people come out just because it's going to be a nice sunny probably day in mid-October in the Verde Valley?
It's going to be great. And Blazing M was so generous to allow us to use their venue. It's gorgeous. Yeah. And then you go ahead and you walk down to Dead Horse and go around the pond and come back. Sedona Winds has also offered their bus. So if you start the walk, especially with a loved one, they can't make it all the way, they'll pick you up and take you back. And then you can go ahead and enjoy your pancakes.
You've thought of everything. All right. You mentioned the pancake breakfast. It's kind of new, isn't it, this time? Have we done this before?
No, this is new this year because Dr. Kruger, our gerontologist here in the Verde Valley, has offered his time. So ask the doc. After the walk, he will go ahead and spend 10 minutes giving some information and guidance to families that are struggling with this. And I will also be doing the same thing as a care manager. I will be available after the walk to actually offer some free guidance too. So Dr. Kruger, myself, and a pancake breakfast to make it a little more enticing.
Well, you're going to have a number, I think, of resources as well so folks can get, phone numbers and web addresses and literature and things like that.
Absolutely. We're going to have a full resource section with I will be bringing my own list of facilities, care homes, group homes, assisted living, memory. We'll also have the medical home care lists. We'll have non-medical home care lists. complete resources for people to try and help themselves be a better caregiver.
Isn't it? Tell me if I'm swimming the right direction on this. A lot of folks, I think, because we do have a lot of a high elderly population, retired population, in all of Arizona, and certainly the Verde Valley. Not all care homes are qualified, or if that's the right word, for Alzheimer's patients, dementia patients. Is that right, or am I not getting it quite correct?
You're swimming down the right lane.
One care home does not fit all.
No, absolutely. So to really research each home and what their strengths are. With dementia, it also depends on your loved ones, what type of dementia they have and what needs they have.
Okay.
As individuals, we all have individual needs. So for instance, if your loved one loves to go out and walk, and that's their thing, we're going to need to make sure that wherever they are is secured so that they don't just take off and decide to go for a walk without someone walking with them.
Right.
So you are absolutely right. We are very blessed in the Verde Valley with 12 group homes besides assisted living and memory care.
And even there, if you do find the right fit initially, the nature of Alzheimer's is such that the patient's needs are going to change over time and may shift to something that, if you're in one group home, is not eventually or ultimately going to provide them the care they need. Does that happen?
Hopefully not very often.
Right.
So when someone comes to me and we're looking at, I need some assistance now. I can't continue to do this and I can't afford to bring in private caregivers.
Right.
Right now, if you were to hire a caregiver 24/7 in the Verde Valley, you're looking at anywhere from $20,000 to $25,000 a month for care.
And can you even find such a person?
We can right now.
Is that
actually.
right? That's good news. I'm glad to hear
We can.
that.
And so we want to plan, again, that gift of time and resources that the Alzheimer's Society gives us. We can make a plan so we're not working in a crisis. And hopefully that plan is going to work until the end of life. Now, none of us know the trajectory we're going to be taking.
Right.
But hopefully when we make a placement, it will be our group homes will keep people through the end of life unless they come up with some situations, for instance, extremely behavioral, that they can't handle any longer.
Right. Okay. It's just, that's part of the crushing part of this is just the unknowns. No matter, even with the good planning, which is strongly recommended for, it seems like everyone who, certainly by the time of a diagnosis, to start that. But even there, I'm talking about it and I feel overwhelmed. Just kind of thinking, my mind kind of going to it, and I'm not in this situation. But it's just overwhelming to think of all the different things that come at you, just the finance, the time, juggling home, juggling your own family, juggling work, juggling all of these things, and then mom or dad or whomever the loved one may be. It just overwhelms you to stop and think about that.
It absolutely is. And in the midst of this stress, you have to have extreme patience with this particular illness. And that's difficult. And then for the loved one whose spouse is suffering from this illness, it's a slow death they're experiencing over several years.
Yeah.
And there's never anyone to fill their cup. That's where this support group comes in. That's where these dollars for this walk come in to help people maintain.
Is there, can I sign up right now? Is it sign up on the day of for the walk?
Oh, no. Get online right now.
How do I do that?
You can go to their website, which I will get that for you in just a moment. And you can always call our office, Arizona Care Management, at 928-300-0172. And we can absolutely direct you if you're not savvy on the computer. I believe it's alzheimers.org.
Okay. We'll kind of confirm that. We need to take another short
Yes.
break, so we'll grab all that and kind of confirm it. But be a part of this. Again, a lot of the walkers, dozens of them come out and do their thing. Many of them already invested in their own personal experience with an Alzheimer's patient, a parent, say, or whomever it may be. We would love to get more people to come out and just pledge a few dollars, maybe take some donations, some pledges from friends, coworkers, even if you are unaffected or your family is unaffected by Alzheimer's or the dementia umbrella that Bonnie described early in the show. Come out and be a part of this. Again, October 14th, Blaze and M, 8 o'clock is the sign-in. There'll be a pancake breakfast and tons of caring people with good information. We'll take a short break. We'll come back. We'll get that web address, confirm that for you, and wrap up Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Hi, this is Lewis Rice with Rice Accounting, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, with a very sincere thank you for your continued business over the last 20 years. All of us at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service are very honored for the many community awards we've been given over the years. As always, we are open year-round, providing services for taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona, can help you with all your tax and accounting needs. For our nearest location, call 800-234-1040.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
Welcome back to the program again, Countywide, as we wrap up. Bonnie Shinko is our guest today. Arizona Care Management. Bonnie is the CEO, and they support the folks who support folks with Alzheimer's. When we raise money, whatever it is, with this walks across the globe, really, it seems like there's two attack fronts: fighting the disease itself, eradication being the ultimate goal, but then also helping to support the folks who are family members, caregivers. Is
Absolutely.
that kind of how it works?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And locally, they support us by supporting the support group that we do, both one in person and one online. They support it through the resources that they supply. And one of the best resources I think they have, and I had mentioned briefly, is that phone number, an Alzheimer's hotline that anybody can call. And it's master degreed social workers answering that call.
Okay.
And it's 800-272-3900. Again, 800-272-3900. That anyone that has a loved one that they need assistance with can get some great advice.
That's terrific. And highly qualified people on the other end of the phone. That's comforting.
Absolutely.
That's
and the
great.
other thing they give out that I love, and I carry it with me when I'm with my clients in public, it's a card that says, my loved one has Alzheimer's, a business card, that if you're at a restaurant and something goes a little bit awry and the waitress is not understanding what happens, you can pull this out and say, oh, Mary, it's so nice to see you. Here's my card. And that card will help her understand what's going on at that moment. It is just happened last week. I had a client that was 100% fixated that she knew someone in the next booth. And it really apparently scared this person.
Sure.
I was able to pull the card out and she redirected herself, and it ended up being a beautiful interaction.
That's wonderful. I love hearing things like that. Let's go back, confirm the website too. Easy to find the walk, or any walk if you can't make this one.
Yeah, just
coming up.
Alzheimer's Walk 2023.
Simple as that.
That's simple. It's alzheimers.org, but I just put in Alzheimer's Walk 2023. You hit the Verde Valley and you can sign up right there.
And
also make donations.
Terrific. Bonnie, thank you so much for the work that you do, you and your team, and for supporting the folks who support those with Alzheimer's. It's never been more important. We hope that, you can come out and be a part of it on October 14th. Again, Blaze and M. Take a look. Alzheimer's Walk. Just Google that and you'll end up in the right place with a couple of mouse clicks. The sign-in will be 8 o'clock that day. You betcha there'll be people there with a lot of expertise in this field, including Bonnie Shimko and Dr. Corey Kruger, who was a guest on a previous show and gave us a tremendous amount of insight into his personal travails, as well as being a doctor who works with Alzheimer's patients. The Pancake Breakfast, all a part of it on October 14th at the Blaze and M Ranch. We do hope to see you there. I'm Brad Miller. It's Countywide, and we'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.